We're back at Chicago Stadium. The starting lineups for Game 4. The same lineups: Mark Aguirre, Rick Mahorn, Bill Laimbeer up front, Isiah Thomas and Joe Dumars in the backcourt for the Pistons. Chuck Daly, the coach. The Bulls: Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant, Bill Cartwright. And in the backcourt, Michael Jordan and Craig Hodges. Doug Collins, the coach of Chicago. So they're the Bulls, who have been very loose and relaxed. Scottie Pippen still has soreness in his foot, but he's playing, and Horace Grant, who had the stomach flu, feels a lot better today. Isiah Thomas, by the way, had his hand hit by Jordan, and that could be a factor in why he was not a factor in the game on Saturday. So we're underway. Jake O'Donnell, Jess Kersey, and Wally Rooney are the officials working this contest. First shot of the game by Craig Hodges. He was ice cold on Saturday. The rebound. Now is Thomas. See if he comes out strong offensively. Lost the ball. The pass gets by.
I'm looking for Chicago today, Dick, to try to get into Cartwright, into Grant, and establish something on the inside game.
And I look for the Pistons really to make life difficult for Jordan if he goes inside. Maybe a lot more physical on Michael on the drives. Horace Grant.
Talking to Horace before the game, he says that he's over the stomach flu and he feels terrific.
That's not good news for Detroit. He had 20 rebounds in the second game of this series.
Here's the guy that's got to get going to make things happen.
Rick Mahorn. Here's Jordan. Detroit back defensively.
See, neither team is really a blowout, fast break, beep-beep type of club.
Hodges slices in. Only one team, the Pistons, scored as many as 100 points in any game. That was their victorious 100-91 Game 2 effort. Everything else has been under 100. Aguirre, who started off hot and was the Pistons' high scorer on Saturday, double-teamed them. Dumars, top of the key, and the Pistons are off the scoreboard. Doug Collins on his blackboard said self-esteem is what it's all about. He says these guys deserve what they've achieved thus far. He's been giving them a lot of credit in practices before the games.
Well, Doug Collins feels that he wants to go to Cartwright. Cartwright early, try to play two-man.
Hodges hits a two-point field goal, but already Craig Hodges is showing a lot more spunk than he did in the previous game.
Well, Detroit's going to make Hodges prove that he can hit the outside shot.
So far, he's proving it. Lost out of bounds off of Aguirre. Bulls by 4. Chicago is 5-1 at home in the playoffs. Their only loss was to Cleveland in overtime in the first round. Mahorn slaps it away in a good defensive play. Diving for the loose ball. It's still Detroit possession.
Great defensive play by Jordan to knock that ball loose that time.
They're looking for Aguirre. Thomas is.
See, this is a battle now. Grant did an excellent job on Aguirre in the last 6 minutes the other day.
4 on the shot clock. Aguirre may have to put it up. They're not going to get it off. As the 24-second buzzer, did it expire? There may be 1 second left, and there is.
Well, naturally, the clock will go back to 5 seconds, but next year, the rule is going to be changed so that they will reward the defensive team. Right now, there would only be 1 second on the clock.
Here's Thomas getting free, a 2-point attempt, and Isiah Thomas, who scored 33 points in the second game of the series, makes it 6-4.
Well, Chuck Daly's happy. Isiah Thomas and Dumars have hit the outside game. That will open up things underneath.
Jordan is fouled. But coming into this game, Hubie, the 3 Detroit guards, Thomas, Dumars, and Johnson, have been well under 40% shooting. And that's where they get their bulk of their offense from, those 3.
Well, the reason why it's such a distraction for them is because they take close to 50% of the shots. It is a guard-oriented type of offensive attack.
Dumars committing the foul on Jordan, and there you see not only the shooting percentage, but the free throw story. Only in Game 2 were they able to go to the line because of penetration.
Well, that's because Isiah Thomas was breaking Michael Jordan down off the dribble, penetrating, getting down inside, and making a lot of things happen.
Jordan has 2 points. They won't be his last.
Key matchup, Michael Jordan and Isiah Thomas. Can Isiah beat him off the dribble?
He's trying. Maguire and a new clock for the Pistons. Just under 9 minutes remaining in the first quarter.
Michael Jordan's defense on Isiah in games 1 and 3.
Dumars, Joe Dumars. So now it's 8-6, and all 6 Piston points have come from their guards. Here's Cartwright working against Mejor. That's what they got to do.
Philly must keep the ball high every time down in there because Mejor will not be able to get to it.
Penetrating as Thomas draws the foul. So already you can see Detroit going to the hoop.
Is first, team's first.
You see Joe Dumars off the dribble here. Now little change of direction through the legs and a step in. See, the Detroit guards feel that they can beat the Chicago people off the dribble, but then again, you must be able to do it. Chicago, excellent job off there in game 3.
Foul was on Jordan, his first. Isiah Thomas, who used to sneak into Chicago Stadium when he was growing up here in Chicago. He says, I went underground, waited till everyone was in the seats, and then I would easily find a seat. He says, I got that down pat. Chicago's missed just 1 shot.
Between Mark Maguire and Isiah Thomas, I think they have 38 tickets.
Jordan, 3-point basket by Michael Jordan. Chicago's been ice cold from that range. They have won for their last 17 before that basket by Michael Jordan. Dumars fighting for the loose ball, and it's a 2-on-2 situation for the Bulls. Pippen smartly stops. Putting the fake on the horn. Scottie Pippen from the corner. And the Bulls lead by 7 early on. And Chuck Daly is seeing something he didn't want to see off the top of this game.
Well, they can't miss a shot. That's number 1. The most important is they're getting open shots.
Now Dumars hits from the corner. So Dumars has 6 and Thomas has 4 over the Pistons 10.
Joe Dumars very capable of having a 30 to 35 point night. He has been a scorer all through his career, but he's kind of like submerged that to play with this type of an offensive philosophy.
Pickens spot up, and it's Grant on the spot up. Similar to what the Pistons like to do, where they don't roll to the hoop, but just move outside for the jumper.
The difference for Chicago, Grant and Pippen off to a great start, Dick.
The Bulls had missed a lot of open shots early on in game number 3. Dumars thought he was hit. Maguire is fouled, and Dumars with a few words for Wally Rooney. Timeout. And a timeout called by Chicago.
What we're seeing early, Dick, is that Chicago is challenging every jump shot and getting a piece of the release.
Seven-point Chicago lead, nearly halfway through this opening period. Mark Aguirre, who scored 25, will inbound for Detroit.
See, I like the change on the matchup with Grant playing Aguirre. They're going off exactly what they did at the close of the game the other day. He's bigger, and he gives them a lot more trouble.
Aguirre foul going in. Of course, one of the things that the Pistons want to do is get either Pippen or Grant in foul trouble early.
Well, you see, Aguirre loves to get into the lane going strong, you know, for his right-handed baby hook. Now, that's where he was extremely explosive in game 3.
Horace Grant committing the foul. Right now, let's check in with Pat O'Brien.
An update on the Bill Lambert hand situation. He turned down some ice. He says he's fine, but it's still a little tender there. Notice he hasn't taken the shot yet, and he's been passing with his left hand. He's right-handed. Let's go back to you there.
All right, Pat, thank you.
You know, picking up on that Lambert thing, Dick, let's face it, he's their premier outside shooting guy, especially their
Steal by Thomas.
Big. See, they know that they can hound Hodges, Dick, because Hodges is not one of these dribblers that flies out.
Now pressure by the Pistons. We saw it briefly in game number 3 in the backcourt, but Jordan will bring it across. The Bulls missed their first shot today. They've hit, though, their last 7. Lead is cut to 3, however. Pippen with the injured foot. Goes behind. 1 second on the clock, and it'll expire. 24-second clock runs down. We have seen that a few times with the Bulls, and some of their younger players forget where the clock is.
Well, that's something that the guards on the floor are responsible for, to make sure that they are constantly alerted to how many seconds are left.
Pistons will try to cut it to one. Laimbeer with his first shot of the game was off. Grant the rebound. But Bill Laimbeer, who hurt his hand in warm-ups, taking his first shot. Jordan misses a three. Hodges. Jordan. And there's Jordan with his first inside basket of the game. And he has 7 points to lead everybody.
Excellent pass that time by Hodges to find him in traffic.
Now Hodges is on Isiah Thomas. Feed inside Laimbeer off his hands. Here's Jordan in the open court. Dumars is with him. The pull-up and the basket. This guy is incredible.
But see, all 5 guys are active defensively for the Bulls. They're getting a hand on an awful lot of passes as well as the shot attempts right now.
Again, the Bulls lead by 7 after the Pistons cut the lead. And Joe Dumars foul going in. That will be the 14th foul against Chicago and the first against Craig Hodges. And Dumars will go to the line. He scored 20 points in the second game of the series. That was his high scoring output, but he's been occupied mostly with having to defend against Michael Jordan.
Well, that's a tiresome job. You know, all night long you're chasing a person that who you know is going to get anywhere between 22 and 27 shot attempts. Never mind how many times he goes to the line. So that's really a wearisome thing. And plus, he has to have the stamina as a guard to penetrate and make things happen.
We've been around practice. Do you think the Pistons have taken the Bulls seriously yet? Honestly.
Yeah, but when you're down 2-1, Dick, and you know that you're fighting in the finals, you know, I realize what you're saying. I think that they've been hit on the jaw, but maybe they haven't buckled yet.
Cartwright over Mahorn, and Bill Cartwright with his second basket, and a terrific balance by Chicago.
See, I like Doug's theory there. He wants to get Cartwright down in on Mahorn because he knows that they substitute. They got size, but they don't get bulk if they get Mahorn out of there.
Hodges got beaten on the curl. Pippen fighting with Laimbeer for the loose ball. 6 on the shot clock now. Thomas goes around Jordan nicely, feeds Dumars.
Great pass.
Dumars with a new clock. Batted him down, blocked. I think Pippen got a hand on it, and he did. Laimbeer for 3. And Grant with the rebound with under 4 minutes to go. And this crowd senses that the Bulls have not missed a beat between games 3 and 4.
Well, a big reason, very few uncontested shots for Detroit.
Loose ball, Thomas. Chicago back defensively with 3:40 to go in the first, in a wild first quarter, and Isiah Thomas draws the foul. It is the 15th foul against Chicago, and they're in the penalty. Second on Craig Hodges.
On this replay, watch the working down inside of Dumars. You know, you have a tendency to forget he's 6'3", very, very broad across the shoulders and can play big. But give the Bulls credit. They are going for every shot block.
Rick Mahorn and Bill Laimbeer go out, and John Sally and James Edwards. There's Edwards who come into the game. Meanwhile, John Paxson, he'll be mentioned at the top, one of the secondary stars who came through in a big way in game number 3 with 12 points, has come in for Hodges, who goes out with 2 personal fouls.
Dick, they all have confidence in Paxson. You know, Michael Jordan, the highest compliment. He is playing big. The tougher the game gets, the more pressure. Paxson is really doing it for them.
Thomas missed the second free throw. There is Bill Laimbeer on the bench, and you can see the ice applied to his hand. Lane violation against Bill Cartwright, and Thomas gets another shot. So the Pistons now trail 23-18, and 16 of the 18 points have come from the hand of Isiah Thomas and Joe Dumars. Pippen gets through on the baseline, misses the layup.
See, Detroit is hanging tough. They just have to, you know, step back, work their offense, get the good shots. They're only 5 down.
Still 5 down as Dumars missed from the corner. Paxson open for 3. And And Sally out jumps Grant for the rebound.
See, it's tough to come off the bench sitting there that long in your first shot to be a three.
Aguirre lost control. Here's Sally. And he'll go to the line. Very scrappy first quarter on both sides. And a timeout called by the Pistons. And a chance for us to congratulate the LA Lakers. They are serving notice on the rest of the league, aren't they?
We have a nice defensive sequence for you right here. Mark Aguirre on Scottie Pippen. Pippen is going to try to come around a double screen. Watch Mike Aguirre fight through here. All right, here we go. You'll see Pippen come up. Now he changes direction, and he's going to receive a lob pass. Now hold it right there. Now, if you notice, he's catching the ball behind the backboard. But see Aguirre, watch Aguirre recover, and then as Pippen switches hands, he has to bring it back to Aguirre. And here's your little intimidation and forces the miss. Nice movement by two players.
Lakers are waiting in the wings. They swept the Phoenix Suns in 4 straight. They're undefeated, 11-0 in the playoffs. Mark Aguirre goes to the bench as Chuck Daly brings in some more reinforcements. Vinnie Johnson, the microwave in at guard, and Dennis Rodman, who's so active all over the court, is in for Detroit as well. Charles Davis, who has done very well as a backcourt, the front court reserve is in. There's Vinnie Johnson. Dave Corzine checks in and Cartwright goes out. He scored 4 points, but the Bulls were able to establish him inside.
Well, their second unit has done an excellent job for the 6 minutes that they've been on the floor in all of the key games. Cleveland, New York, and again in this series.
Missed free throw by Sally. Grant the rebound.
Now, right now, Michael Jordan is going to help him out a little bit.
I
here.
would hope so for Chicago people. Thomas staying with Paxson. Grant over Sally. Rodman saves it. Nice play by Rodman into the hands of Isiah Thomas. Vinnie Johnson throws it past Sally. The Pistons have scored only 1 basket in the last 5 minutes.
You know, though, Dick, as you look at what they're doing, every time that they penetrate below the foul line, they are looking for the next pass. Let's see if it opens up over the next 3 quarters.
Jordan with 9, leading the Bulls. Grant traveled. Had no place to go.
Now, one of the best rebounders that we have in this series is right there, the Worm. He is so active at both ends of the floor.
That's right, the Worm and the Spider are both in there at the same time. John Sally.
The microwave.
Under 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Dick Stockton, Hubie Brown, and Pat O'Brien with you. Game 4. Edwards is short with it, and Sally gets a new clock. Sally missed off the side of the boards. Chicago commits another foul. They're in the penalty.
Well, Charles Davis has got to do a good job on Rodman. You cannot let him slice to the offensive board. He's murdered, Dick.
Pistons have committed only 1 foul themselves. Dennis Rodman, who has improved his free throw shooting, used to be around 50%, but it's close to 70% in the playoffs. The rebounds, Detroit has held the edge, and Dennis Rodman has gotten better in each game. And in fact, Dennis has led the Pistons in rebounding in the last 2 games.
Well, just think, he's only playing 22 minutes a game to get those kind of stats.
Threw the air ball up on the free throw. He missed them both, and it'll be side out of bounds for Chicago with 1:44 to go in the opening 12 minutes of this game.
The Bulls have been on 23 for a couple of minutes. What they need is some down-in execution.
Jordan. Clobbered. And that's what we're talking about when the Pistons want to make Jordan pay whenever he gets in the paint. There was an example.
Yeah, you'll see him change. He's been able to go to his left in this series an awful lot. He loves to get there, but once he breaks that foul line area, that's what we mean by saying down-in type of play. Whether you do it with a pivot man or you do it off the dribble.
John Sally on the personal foul. That's the 4th on Detroit. Michael Jordan, in the first press guide when he joined North Carolina's Tar Heels, they listed him as Mike Jordan. That's what it said in the book. makes only 1 or 2 free throws. 24-19. Chicago Stadium, it's been rocking for all the playoff games. Game 4 of the NBA Eastern Conference Final. And a foul. James Edwards will go to the line, and Dave Corzine picks up his first foul. Great pickup Edwards was when the Pistons needed him, and did very well against the Lakers last year.
Well, last year he answered the bell in all the pressure series, got it done for them. But remember, this is the first year in 12 years in this league that he has not averaged double figures. He is a premier offensive player in, down, and low. And talking to him yesterday at practice, he feels he's being pushed out far by Corzine and by Cartwright, and he has to shoot the shot a little longer than he's accustomed to.
Only converted 1. Only converted 1. The Bulls lead is 4. It was up as much as 7. Detroit has not had the lead in this first quarter. Jordan guarded by Vinnie Johnson. Edwards trying to help when he's held, and that'll be the 5th team foul, and Michael Jordan on the penalty will shoot 2 for the Bulls. He has averaged 13 free throw attempts in this series, so Jordan is really getting the job done that way.
Well, it's been all throughout the playoffs, Dick. He's right at that 13 mark. And, you know, during the season, everybody said that he shot a lot of free throws. He averaged 9 a game. That is a lot. But 13 at playoff time is a monster stat.
That was on Vinnie Johnson. Jack Haley making his first appearance. That's right, Jack Haley replaces Horace Grant. You never know where Doug Collins is going to go to get people. We may even see Will Perdue before we're done.
Come on now, this is an upset right here. But has Haley ever played a bad game on a CBS telecast?
No, you're right. That's probably why. Here's Will Perdue there. First round draft pick out of Vanderbilt. So Grant gets a breather, and Haley is in there. Thomas out to Sally. Under a minute to go, and John Sally draws the foul. So if you're not familiar with Jack Haley, by the way, he is out of UCLA. He's done a lot of acting and commercial work, and his father was a champion surfer.
He has a lot of confidence in his talent, Dick. He really feels given a chance that he can make a solid contribution.
I asked him, I said, is your dad Jack Haley, the actor who was the Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz? He says, no, but he was a heck of a surfer. I said, that's good enough. And in California, that's just as big.
See, Doug Collins has instructed his players who are matched up versus Sally and against Rodman. Make them shoot over the top of you. Don't foul them or give them the dunks or the layups.
Corzine the rebound, and the Pistons have missed 6 free throws in 16 attempts. So their woes from the line are evident. Jordan. And we'll have a loose ball foul called against Chicago. And it'll be Haley with 38 seconds remaining. His second foul. He's picked up 2 quick ones.
It's been interesting today that Michael Jordan, that last play that he made where he drove the lane and went strong for that right-handed baby hook there, that is the first time that we've seen it. And yet he knows that he can shoot over the top of Vinnie Johnson.
Rodman breaks the string. Craig Hodges checks back in, and Haley goes out. So right now, the Bulls, as they often do in the final minute, will go with a 3-guard offense because of perimeter shooting. Hodges, Paxson, and Jordan.
Well, they move Jordan up to that small forward position. And they feel that Rodman is playing him, and he can match up easily with Rodman.
26-22 Chicago. They've been hanging on that 4-point lead the last 4 minutes or so of this quarter. Into Corzine, Edwards guarding him. 9 on the shot clock. Jordan has it blocked by Rodman. Great defensive play by Dennis Rodman. And now the Pistons can take the last shot of this quarter. Spread the offense.
I was just watching Rodman and Michael Jordan. They have a collision.
5, they've isolated Thomas against Hodges. 2 seconds to go. They better hurry. And Sally has the shot blocked. They don't get it off, and that'll do it.
Great block by Dave Corzine. Once again, they are consistently challenging the jump shot, Nick.
We have concluded 1 period here. Chicago is leading, and the Detroit Pistons have missed their last 8 field goal attempts.
How about this little collision here? Rodman just blocked Jordan's shot at the other end. Hey, come on. Sorry, no blood there, no foul. Everything is fine. Dennis Rodman, tough matchup. Michael Jordan. He says he tries to prevent Michael Jordan from crossing over and going to his left.
Detroit missed their last 8 and Chicago missed their last 6 shots of the quarter. Meanwhile, Michael Jordan is getting his breather right now on the bench. Isiah Thomas off the glass. Rodman fights for the loose ball. That's why he's going to be a big star in this league.
Well, he's one of the top 3 offensive rebounders we have in professional basketball, and he plays less than half the game.
So Hodges and Paxson in the backcourt, Pippen back in there, Corzine and Charles Davis for the Bulls.
See, they're not going to let Corzine take that uncontested shot.
7 on the shot clock, running down. Corzine fall away, rebound Rodman, and a chance for the Pistons to tie the score. So Jordan starts off the period. He's scored 12 to lead everybody in the first. Leading by 4, Detroit trying to take advantage and make hay with him on the bench. And we'll have a foul. Loose ball foul.
Watch Rodman come into your picture from the left. Here he comes. There he is, right up in there. Not only is he at that 6'8", 6'9" listing, but he has the long arms and then the heart to take the physical punishment to be an offensive rebounder.
And a big offensive rebounding edge by the Pistons. Foul was on Davis, his second. He goes out of the game. Bill Cartwright is checked back in for the Chicago Bulls. Horace Grant also in there. So Grant, Cartwright, and Pippen, the starting front court in there now for Chicago. James Edwards, rebound again by you-know-who, Rodman. Way off balance. Rebound by Sally, blocked by Cartwright.
Hey, this is a tough group. When you have Rodman, Sally at 7 foot, James Edwards at 7 foot in there, they are extremely active, Dick. You must put a body on these people.
Yet coming into this game, the Bulls actually led the Pistons in blocked shots, which is a surprise when you consider that this is not a shot-blocking team, Chicago. Offensive foul.
James Edwards definitely, Dick, dropped the shoulder and moved.
Bill Laimbeer will report in, and Edwards goes out. Laimbeer has not scored. He has taken 1 shot, hurt his hand in the pregame warm-ups, and Joe Dumars replaces Isiah Thomas. Thomas and Dumars each scored 8 points in the first quarter. In the corner, Paxson, Vinnie Johnson guarding him. Pippen. Grant. Big offensive rebound. Big because the Pistons are threatening to tie it up. Hodges. And Scottie Pippen hard off the glass. And now Detroit with another chance to knot it up. Great pass from Dumars to Rodman to Sally.
See, their interior passing in the first quarter, Dick, you know, was just off the mark. But now as the game goes on and you start to get the feel, let's see if it reverts to baskets.
High score. Cartwright. And now the Pistons in a position to gain their first lead of the game.
Detroit really being spearheaded by Rodman's rebounding at both ends.
Vinnie Johnson blocked by Pippen. Took it right out of his hand. He's got Paxson on his left. Oh, no need to. The Bulls had missed 11 shots in a row before that great defensive play and the payoff by Scottie Pippen. So it's Chicago by 2 and an offensive foul. Rodman against Grant. And a timeout.
Great anticipation by Pippen, but we said they've been challenging every single shot. See, if you give it up there, you get it back, you get the dunk without a possible collision.
He just didn't want to take any chance. 9:20 to go in the first half. Chicago by 2, and their leading rebounder is Horace Grant with 4, and he's been a big bulwark off the glass. Everyone knows about Michael Jordan wearing the old Carolina warm-up pants underneath, the shorts underneath. What about Horace Grant? I think, doesn't he do the same thing?
Hey, listen, we put it right to him. We said, the ACC guy versus Michael Jordan. Come on, did you ever wear you know, the orange of Clemson. And he said, you know, really, I really did, but someone stole my pants. And I said, but wait, if you would contribute a little bit more money to the IPTAY fund, maybe they would send you another pair.
That's right. The check is in the mail, right?
Yeah, he's really a nice young man, and he knows that a lot of pressure was put on him on that Oakley trade, and he is really stepping forward and playing big, not only points, but rebounding-wise down the stretch and in the playoffs.
Bulls lead despite a drought. Cartwright, Pippen in three-point territory, goes around Rodman. Hodges open for three. And Lambier clears it.
Now, he's been struggling. Doug Collins trying to tell him to take his time.
Rodman lost it on the drive. But you're right about Hodges. He was 1 for 7 yesterday from the field, missed all his three-point attempts.
See, I like what we're seeing, Dick. Both guys are happy with what they're getting right now.
Cartwright, fouled by Lambier. He claimed he had the ball. Officials thought otherwise, and Lambier with his first foul.
Well, you know, Lambier is not a shot blocker. This is one of his favorite moves. He'll always reach in and try to get the shot before you get it up above your chest for the release.
And Michael Jordan is getting set to come back in the game. Cartwright shooting a pair.
Yeah, Dick, in 1984 when Billy had that hairline fractures and that, you know, that really disrupted his career where he took a year off. People forget that was also the year that his 4-year-old son had corrective heart surgery, and it was one of the only 15 cases of its kind at that time. So Billy really had a difficult year when he took off 84, 85, not only for himself but also for his young son.
Those are the things you don't always hear about that affect the way you play.
He's a real tight family man, and you know, he really has it all in its right place.
Jordan is back in the game. He was out for 3 minutes and 25 seconds. Vinnie Johnson off the side, rebound Pippen. So the Bulls had a 4-point lead when Michael sat out at the start of the second. They have a 4-point lead now. They did not lose anything with him on the bench. Paxson. In and out. See, 4 minutes going by.
I'm impressed, Dick, with how quick Detroit is getting the double team to Jordan.
And they tie it up. Paxson and Lambier will jump. But I agree with you. You know, the Pistons are lurking in this game, even though Chicago has had the lead throughout.
Well, see here, that's a tough catch for Lambier. The fact that he made it was great. And remember, if you're thinking high school and college, that should be a travel. In the NBA, when you're falling well, it is not a turnover.
Isiah Thomas is back in for Detroit. Tip controlled by Pippen. That's one of the things Doug Collins worked on in practice yesterday, jump balls. He said, we're not getting the right space to the right spot.
Well, anytime that you're playing in games under 100, every possession is key, so you've got to get loose balls and offensive rebounds. You need easy scoring opportunities.
There's the shot clock, Jordan. Cartwright. And it'll be Detroit's ball. So the jump ball, not so much in out-jumping the guy you're going up against, but where you go and who darts to what space.
That's right. How you cut it off, whether it's an offensive tap or defensive tap.
Bulls by 4, even though they've made only one of their last 16 shots. Draws the foul and will shoot. So again, in case you missed it, the Bulls in the last 9 minutes have attempted 16 shots and made only 1 basket. Yet they have the same lead they had after 1 period of play, and in fact the drought went even before that.
Well, you see, if you're Doug Collins, you're saying, look, we're getting the shots, we're missing them, but we're still ahead. If you're Chuck Daly, you're saying, look, we are not playing a great basketball game, and we're still within striking distance. You have to like the Detroit passing, though. Isiah Thomas came off a pick that time, was defensed perfectly, and made a beautiful drop-down pass to John Sally.
Well, the Pistons are hanging in this game because of their bench. Sally and Rodman have played a lot more than Aguirre and Mahorn, the starters.
What does Doug Collins say? The second unit of the Detroit Pistons could qualify for a playoff berth. You put John Long in with these other 4 guys, not a bad team.
Right. with 7 minutes remaining in the half. Bulls by 2. Jordan has scored 12. Nothing yet in this period. Jackson loses it. Rodman stayed with it. No foul. Now Detroit looking to tie it up again. Sally. There's Grant. Chicago's biggest lead was 7. They had it on 4 occasions in the first quarter.
See, we're seeing a lot of bumping off the dribble today, and you just have to live with it. That's the personality of today.
Jackson in and out on a 3 attempt. Pippen was outnumbered inside, but Jordan. There's Pippen on the offensive glass. Runs into Thomas, who commits the foul.
See, when anytime you rebound in the painted area there, especially a player the size of Scottie Pippen, you've got to pump fake and go back up strong and go for the possible three-point shot.
All right, Pat. All of his 12 points, including a 3-point basket, occurred in the first quarter. But the important thing is that Michael Jordan got some rest for nearly 4 minutes, and the Bulls didn't lose anything off their lead. They're up by 2 and with the ball.
Interesting today that Michael Jordan has already attempted 3 3-point field goal attempts.
Cartwright against Lambeer. Bill Cartwright, 8 points. You mentioned that he was the guy against the New York Knicks who played big. They always know about the headliner Jordan, but who else is going to come in and fill it? Paxson in Game 3 Saturday. The boos are for Lambeer, the villain on the road, wherever he goes. Thomas.
Bit of concentration.
Dumars. Rebound by Jordan into the hands of Paxson. Michael made it happen, though. Bulls by 4.
Jordan took a shot to the face when he went up and kept that rebound alive, Dick.
Rodman on Jordan. Now Sally doubles, and Thomas nearly with the steal. Throws up the air ball from the corner.
Yeah, Detroit, though, they're running hard out at those outside perimeter shooters and forcing either a forced shot attempt or put the ball down on the floor.
Thomas hits the jumper and claims he was fouled as well. 32-30, the Bulls with 5 minutes remaining in the first half. Leading scorers for the Pistons, Thomas with 10.
I tell you, the defense is really, really ferocious here tonight.
Knocked away. It is still Chicago's ball with 9 seconds on the clock. Here's Lambeer and Jordan on the rebound you talked about.
Now watch Jordan come up. He's going to come up into your picture right there, and he takes it on the face from Lambeer. That was not intentional. Lambeer was reaching back for it.
Hodges for Paxson. Jordan pumps. Rebound offensively by Pippen. New clock. Hodges trying to get into the flow. I think they'd like to set him up for that, too.
Oh, you have to give Detroit credit. I'd say you are not getting the uncontested shot that they were getting early in that first quarter.
Look how both teams have been ice cold, and it's more the defense, really. We shouldn't say they're cold. That's not accurate. The defenses on both sides have been tremendous.
Well, if you notice, every time a player releases a shot, he's asking for the foul along with the field goal.
Pippen with that last hoop. 7 on the shot clock. Thomas shooting over Jordan. Off the mark. Rebound. Lambeer lost it to Pippen. Scottie Pippen, I don't know if he's feeling any better. He has 6 rebounds and a lot more active.
He's very active. The leaping ability is there that he didn't have in Game 3.
34-30, Chicago. Hodges. Cartwright keeps it alive. Rodman, the rebound on Cartwright's miss from the baseline. 10 rebounds already for Dennis Rodman, who has led Detroit off the boards in the last 2 games.
They go for a high pick and roll here now.
And slicing is Joe Dumars. So Dumars and Thomas have 20 of the Pistons' 32 points.
You know what's interesting about that? Lambeer was going for the pick and roll, and then he ran out to the top of the circle to draw the defense high.
Michael Jordan, by the way, has missed his last 5 shots. They've got Rodman on him. Now 0 for 6, but it's picked up and in by Scottie Pippen. Pippen and Cartwright, each with 8, so Michael Jordan is getting offensive help from other people. And again, Chicago by 4. They have maintained that 4-point lead for the last 10 minutes. Sally goes in, and he'll go to the line. So Sally has drawn a lot of fouls with his inside play.
Very strong move that time by Sally.
Foul is on Cartwright, his second. Interesting about Chicago and how one game differs from another. The Bulls starting front court on Saturday had only 11 points in the first half. Today they have 20. 20-2, they've outscored Detroit. Their points have come from the backcourt. John Sally will be on the free throw stripe with 2:32 remaining.
Sally, 2 shots.
The Detroit Pistons lost 2 in a row only 3 times this year, and none since February. They lose today, would be 2 in a row, so this is a team that's awfully consistent, and they don't get into any kind of a slump normally.
Well, they play with a great degree of confidence. They know they're tough defensively. If they just have a normal offensive game, they feel that they can beat anybody in any building.
And their free throw shooting has improved too since the early going. We're at Chicago Stadium. Dick Stockton and Hubie Brown, but the Bulls leading the Pistons 36-34 with less than 2.5 to play in the opening stanza. Pistons have not had the lead at all in this game. Rodman gets his hands on it. Pippen quickly to Jordan.
Plenty of time.
7 on the shot clock. Hodges open. Goes for 3. He got it. Let's see what kind of effect that three-point hoop has for Hodges.
The coaching staff, a deep sigh of relief. You know, he finally got the big one to get him going.
Under 2 minutes to go in the half. And the lead for the Bulls 5. Dumars, good step on Hodges. Rebound Sally. Again, the offensive boards for Detroit.
See, they keep going to Dumars because he is beating Hodges off the dribble.
Trying to beat Pippen. And called for the foul, blocking foul against Scottie Pippen will be his 3rd foul.
In this next sequence, you'll see how quickly Detroit will come for the double. They have the one man. Here comes Isiah. They're forcing, but notice how Jordan takes his time and picks out the free man.
Charles Davis is in for Pippen, who has 3 personal fouls, and 8 points goes to the bench. The only player with 3 personals. Lambeer, quick shot. And then Rodman with another offensive rebound. And another Bulls foul, and that'll put him in the penalty. And Rodman will go to the line.
Hodges, his 3rd penalty.
3 fouls now on Hodges, and Rodman going to the line.
Rodman, 2 shots.
We talk about athletes and their families. Well, he's got some sisters that are pretty mighty fine athletes as well.
Well, let's face it, in high school, he's 5'11", skinny. He wasn't getting anything done in the world of basketball. He has 2 sisters, Deborah and Kim, both of them all-state, taking the girls' high school team to the state championship. And then Deborah goes on to Louisiana State and is an All-American and plays on a great team.
Wow, pretty good story.
A little bit of pressure in your backyard going one-on-one. Come on.
Dumars going one-on-one with Paxson right now as Detroit with Dumars going right around Paxson, and Joe Dumars has 12 to lead Detroit.
See, we can't say it enough. Chuck Daly is going right to Dumars. Hey, take Hodges, take Paxson. We're going to put the pressure on these guys and break down their defense.
They're doing it. Trailing by 2. Cartwright. Rebound by Rodman. That's 12 rebounds for Dennis Rodman. And looking to tie it up, Thomas.
Now that is Isiah Thomas.
That's right, and Chuck Daly said before the game, he can't just stand around and set other people up. We need that from Isiah.
They need him to push and create and get in the lane for that short 10-foot jump shot that he loves.
Tied at 39. Jordan is tied up, and he'll jump it now. See if it was Sally with him.
Notice how quick Detroit is getting to Michael for the double team. See, give them the credit. Very few times today have we seen Michael get down for that last lunge where he stretches out and reaches for that driving layup with the right or left hand.
Corzine, who has played well in the series, goes in for Cartwright, who sits down with 8 points. Corzine, good hustle, and will jump it up with Thomas.
They have a lot of confidence in Corzine because he usually plays very well against Detroit. He has a lot of confidence, and the club has confidence in him, which is very important.
But with 32 seconds to go in the half, the Bulls have not had any points from their bench. Paxson has it taken away by Thomas. Gets another chance and can play out the clock, so Detroit can wait for the last shot and look for their first lead of the game. Chicago is up by as many as 7, but it's been around a 4-point lead for the Bulls most of the second quarter. Let's see if they get it. 3-point shot by Isiah is good with 1 second to go. And that'll do it, and the first lead for the Pistons is a big one. Chuck Daly's Detroit club with Isiah Thomas in a 3-point basket with 1 second to go. And that's the end of the first half with the score. The Pistons 42 and the Bulls 39.
Just take a look at Isiah Thomas's eyes. He's sizing up not only the clock, but the rim. You see how he looked that time? He knew that on the release. He had about 3 seconds when he let that one fly.
15 points for Thomas, who starts with Dumars at guard. Aguirre, Mahorn, and Laimbeer up front, but mostly it was Sally and Rodman, and not Aguirre and Mahorn in the first half. Chicago ball. Both teams are shooting well under what they normally do in the playoffs because of the fine defense that UB and Chuck Daly was alluding to. Both teams are under 40%. See if Jordan gets on track. Michael with 12 points, all scored in the first 12 minutes of the game. Pippen guarded by Aguirre, and he commits the foul. Let's take a look at the halftime statistics. That's what they've done in the playoffs. That's what they've done today. 32% for Detroit, 38 for Chicago. Detroit with Dennis Rodman, 5 offensive boards, has doubled Chicago's output, and off the bench, Detroit has outscored Chicago 13-0 and a healthy margin off the glass as well. Hodges, good interior defense again, doesn't let Hodges get close.
Let's see if I'm Chuck Daly. I'm looking at my ball club, my front line, Laimbeer, Mahorn, and Aguirre. No field goals in the first half, and I'm still winning.
Didn't play much, though. Aguirre hits his first shot, his first attempt. Aguirre played 9 minutes, Mahorn 8. Pistons by 5. Their first lead was the 3-point basket by Thomas just before the end of the half. Pippen in the corner. Good passing by the Bulls, and Hodges hits his second 3-point basket. Good pass by Pippen.
Excellent court vision that time. First by Cartwright and then by Pippen.
Lead is 2. That's a stop. You credit Jordan there with Thomas. Wouldn't let him get inside the free throw line. Now there are 5 seconds on the shot clock. Goes around Hodges with ease and leaves it in.
Isiah Thomas.
So Hodges has been vulnerable against both Dumars and Thomas.
We're not talking chopped liver here now.
Right. No, we're talking
we're talking 2 guys who really can score off the dribble.
Hodges. Nice. Good pass and penetration to Horace Grant.
You know, Doug Collins, he wants Hodges to put it down and get in there because a defensive player usually flies by him, and then they have an offensive guy rotating to the glass. Layup time.
Dumars in the corner, Laimbeer. Jordan is all over. Mahorn is tripped up and fouled. First foul against Chicago.
Here we have Isiah. Watch out quick. See, put the head back, rock them back to get that half a step. But how about the changing of the hand? Watch Hodges suck up a defense. There's your nice drop off to Grant.
Cartwright, though, picks up his 3rd foul. First team on Chicago.
Look at Jordan. Just fought right over that screen.
Good move inside Dumars. And he's pushed.
See, we're seeing Joe Dumars open up today with his bag of tricks, especially down on that baseline. That's the third time that he has faked coming into the middle and whirled around to the baseline side to beat Hodges.
But it's a quiet bag of tricks, isn't it, for Joe Dumars?
Yeah, but he does everything. Nothing spectacular. All he is mystic consistency. He's like the coach's dream type of player. Can play point guard, second guard, and then most of all, he can score.
Craig Hodges, who committed the foul on Dumars, his fourth of the game, goes out and is replaced by John Paxson. And, you know, look at the Piston characteristics of the bombastic people like Lambeer and Mahorn and Sally, who's talkative, and Rodman. Then you get the Dumars, right? Totally different guy.
Yeah, but like Chuck says a number of times, they're a different breed of captain this ball club. As long as they play hard and they mesh together.
Michael Jordan fouled. So he may have to get back into the scoring swing of things from the free throw line.
The foul on Rick Mahorn is first.
On this sequence now, you'll see Jordan come off strong. And here he makes the next step. But look how quick those defenders are right there. They are not going to let him get that shot off.
Not a shooting foul.
Well, I tell you, he got hit when he was elevated. Now it comes down to whether the whistle blew before he elevated.
Team fouls are 2-2 here in this third quarter. Pippen tries to up-fake Lambeer.
Plenty of time.
Reaches in and banks it in. With 6 on the shot clock. 10 points now for Scottie Pippen. Aguirre beating the Bulls down court. And he handled himself. Great body balance because Grant had position defensively.
Well, if you notice, that's one of the few times they've done that today.
Pippen for 3. Scottie Pippen's red hot, and a foul as well away from the basket. And a chance for a 4-point play.
Pretty sure it's on Rick Mahorn.
A foul on Rick Mahorn, his second, team's third. Michael Jordan is in front.
One shot coming up for Michael Jordan. And Jordan still has yet to score since the first quarter. He has 12 points. Pippen with 13 leads the Bulls. Dumars offense, no, push Cartwright, and that's 5. Or 4. It's 4. Excuse me, 4 on Bill.
See, that's the fourth time now that Dumars has whirled to that baseline side, catching the defender.
He wouldn't have been in with 4, you know that. He wouldn't have had a chance to pick up 5. He'll go out now and is replaced by Dave Corzine. So foul trouble now. Cartwright and Hodges, each with 4, and Scottie Pippen 3 for Chicago. No one on Detroit has as many as 3 personal. Plenty of time on the shot clock for the Pistons.
This is a war down in there. Dumars and Paxson.
Mahorn. They dive, and they're going to jump it up. It'll be Corzine and Dumars will jump it. With just about 4 minutes going by in a feverish third quarter.
Watch Paxson now trying to deny here. Now you see the forearms. That's always the best way to get your leverage, is get your forearm up and try to get the upper hand in the pushing off situation. Control your position.
Chicago won only 1 jump in game 3. They've already won 2 this afternoon. So they practice what they preach.
Scottie Pippen says there's something on the ball here right now. He just wiped his hand off.
There's the shot clock on the left. On the switch, Mahorn has Jordan. Now double. They're going to hurry. 3 seconds to go. Jordan slices in. They did, and he scored. First field goal and first points for Michael Jordan in over 20 minutes of play. Steal, Grant, Pippen. Detroit led by 5, and now the Bulls are up by 3. Dumars. And the rebound by Grant, and the Bulls are on a 9-2 run here in the third. Pippen missed the drive, ended up on the floor, and the Pistons come back now. Thomas. Another shot. But Isiah Thomas missed both, but he's a lot more aggressive.
Nice look.
Pippen.
Great pass by Grant.
Timeout, Detroit.
Timeout, Detroit. That's a 20-second
20-second
timeout.
timeout right now.
On this loose ball, watch Horace Grant's eyes. That's what we call a great look. Scottie Pippen never came across half court on the previous drive to the basket, and as Grant intercepted that ball, he read that long toss all the way.
Scottie Pippen has scored 9 points this period, and that's the run by the Bulls in the last 3 minutes. And if this series goes to a 6th game, Ruby and I will be with you Friday night right here at Chicago Stadium at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Rodman is in, and you know who he's going to be guarding. Pippen with 17 leads the Bulls. Jordan has 14. Isiah Thomas with 17. Dumars with 14.
Paxson has done a great job anticipating.
Lambier misses a 3. Rodman. Follow-up.
Beautiful.
Rebound, Corzine. They can open it up to 7 points. Rodman is guarding Pippen. The man on Jordan is Dumars. Here's Michael.
See there, letting him get in the open floor now at the top of the circle.
Thomas ready to double.
Tougher to double him there.
Paxson back to Jordan. The 24-second clock expired.
24-second violation.
That's how tough that half-court Detroit defense is. That funnels and fills and makes it so difficult to find those cracks that Jordan likes to
Well,
find.
they've proven it over the past 2 seasons that they hold Michael Jordan to a lower field goal percentage than anyone else. No one's even close.
5.5 now, remaining in the third.
So Jordan laying off Thomas.
Dumars trying to take advantage of Paxson. Here's Sally. Good position from Lambier. Dumars. Sally trying to get it in and a foot block called against.
24 seconds.
New 24-second clock. Dennis Rodman with 14 rebounds, a playoff career high. In the last 3 games, he has 12, 13, and right now 14 rebounds for the Pistons. So he's getting better as the series goes on in that department.
You can see Lambier is definitely hesitating on the shot.
Paxson fouled Thomas,
Foul call, John
and that will be
Paxson,
the
his
4th team foul against Chicago.
Team's fourth.
Look to the right of your screen now. There's a nice pick by Isiah Thomas. Paxson just ran right through it.
We have made a lot about Detroit's tremendous defense, and you pointed out before Game 3 about how few people talk about how tough Chicago's defensive play has been.
Well, listen, we're talking in this series, one team is averaging 94 points a game, and the other team is only averaging 95.
That says it. Sally. Tipped up and in by Bill Lambier. His first points of the game.
See, if Lambier cannot shoot from outside, he must make his presence felt on the offensive boards and get down inside and help out.
Pistons had missed their last 8 before Lambier's tip-in. Rodman a rebound. Comes in contact with Grant. 15 boards now for Dennis Rodman. Thomas is fouled. Jordan is complaining.
That's a position foul that time. Michael thought that he was there before Isiah got to the spot. You'll see him go for like a little fake 360 here. See, Michael Jordan is claiming that he walked before the body contact.
2 fouls on Jordan. Isiah Thomas, the leading scorer for the Pistons with 17, coming off a game in which he had scored only 5 on Saturday. So he's been a different man out there.
Well, coming into today, he's only shooting 60% in the series on the foul line.
Makes 1 out of 2. Now the Bulls go to work, leading by a pair. James Edwards has come in for Bill Lambier. Don't forget Lambier injured. injured his hand in practice, and it appears to have affected him because he has scored only 2 points. Jordan in the hands of Sally. So Michael Jordan still with only 14 points in the game. Dumars out of control going in. And John Paxson picks up another foul. The Bulls have been in the penalty now for the last couple of minutes, and we have 4:06 remaining in the third. And Joe Dumars going to the line.
Paxson complaining, Dick, but he challenged that shot that time rather than let Dumars go in and lay it up. Dumars a consistent 85% plus foul shooter throughout his career.
The bug is bothering even him at the line today, Hubie, huh?
I don't want to say anything anymore about foul shooting.
I know he wouldn't want you to say
No,
anything.
you're right. Jordan.
Jordan's getting a little bit of a more physical treatment when he is penetrating inside, and Dumars picks up his second foul. The Pistons still under the limit. That's the 4th team foul. And Jordan will shoot. He scored 12 points in the first quarter, nothing in the second, and has scored 2 thus far here in the third. Yet the Bulls lead by 1, 55-54. He has hit only 4 of 12 from the field. So this has not been a Michael Jordan kind of game. But I don't think Doug Collins is complaining when he looks at the scoreboard.
Well, it's like we said the other day. He had 46 points in Game 3, but his excellent defense on Isiah Thomas off the dribble was major factor in the game. And once again today, he's in that same type of a situation. He's working both ends of the floor.
And he's watching Dumars defensively right now. Vinnie Johnson is in the game. Paxson is guarding him. Edwards. Sally goes high, the rebound. Corzine stepped on the line. So it's still Detroit ball. Interesting that Vinnie Johnson has not scored. Now there's a man that the Pistons seem to need, and how he goes, so go the Pistons often when he starts getting that jump shot cooking. But he has nothing.
But you never have to worry about the microwave, because if it's there, he's taking it. If it's there, he's taking it.
Edwards crashing the boards, and he's fouled. Grant hits the deck.
That was a beautiful pass by Vinny. He had a few excellent feeds in the second quarter also.
Hard to believe, Hubie, that the Detroit Pistons swept all 6 games from the Bulls in the regular season. In fact, had won 9 in a row from them. Handled them with ease last year in the playoffs in 5, but this is a young, friskier Bulls team, and they're giving the Pistons all they can handle in this series.
Yeah, but it's the development of the Cartwright and the Hodges, 2 guys who are new to the team, and then also the younger players maturing, especially Grant and Pippen.
Glad you said that.
Do we have space?
Grant. In and out, Edwards the rebound. 56-55 Chicago, and the Pistons can take a lead. They were up by as many as 5 points here in this third quarter. Edwards over Grant. And Detroit is up by 1. Under 3 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Pippen wide open for 3. Sally had it. And it's Detroit ball. Timeout, Detroit. And the Pistons will call a timeout. The Bulls led by 4 after 1. And the Pistons had a 3-point lead at the half. And we're nip and tuck here. Let's look at Detroit and how they've really changed their motif of the last 5 years, their style, Hubie.
Well, they score less over the last 5 years. They've become a much better defensive team. And when that happens, you can see it right here. They are allowing you fewer points. That means it takes you longer periods of time on the shot clock to get shots up. So consequently, they will take fewer attempts themselves. Plus, they no longer push the ball after opponent scores and force the action. That's the 2 main reasons.
Jordan sandwiching him, and Edwards now with 6 points, and it's 59-56 Detroit. The Bulls with only 1 point in over 4 minutes since they led by 5. They were on an 11-2 run, and now Detroit is on a 9-1.
See, they're groping for an offensive set that's going to get Jordan open.
Left in the quarter.
Grant inside, and Edwards pushed him. And that'll be the 15th foul on the Pistons, and Grant will go to the line and shoot 2.
Foul ball, James Edwards, his second penalty.
Horace Grant going to the line, where he has been a 77% shooter in the playoffs. Sam Vincent, the backup point guard, will come in. Grant, by the way, coming into the game with 13 offensive boards. Led everyone on both sides. That's surprising when you figure someone on Detroit would have that on it. Vincent will replace Jordan with 1:57 to go in the third.
Isiah Thomas.
Well, you have a tendency to look at Grant and think, well, you know, he's not a bulky type of a player at a big forward position, but he uses his quickness, his slicing ability, and then the long reach to out-jump you. He's a quick jumper.
Thomas is also gone in the game, so as Jordan goes out, Thomas goes in, replacing Joe Dumars, who has scored 15 points and having a fine all-round game today for the Pistons. Edwards. Great pass into Sally. 9 for Sally.
We said earlier, Dick, their interior passing today has been excellent.
And I think Chuck Daly wanted to get Edwards going offensively before Game 3, is making more of a move that way in this one. Vincent. Corzine.
Notice how they're running at Corzine, and they will not allow him that uncontested shot. They're making him dribble the basketball and then shoot.
Pistons are looking to match their biggest lead of the game, 5 points. Edwards goes up and will go to the line to shoot 2. Came very close to getting into a position for a 3-point play.
Edwards to shoot 2.
You'll see on this replay, they're going into James Edwards, an excellent shot. Watch this pass, the recognition. See, Sally was running without the ball, and they're catching he and Rodman, and also the guards moving once the player gets double teamed. Excellent. It's beautiful to watch.
Corzine now with 3 fouls. The brain trust. Collins on the left. Phil Jackson, who's the defensive specialist, so to speak, in the middle, and Johnny Bach on the right.
Well, you know they're feeling the frustration, you know, because in that second quarter, Jordan couldn't get off. The third quarter, he's struggling because he's not getting the good shot attempts. Now, this group has got to get some shots.
Now, the mix-up throws the ball away, but you're right. Michael Jordan, who's on the bench right now, and the Detroit Pistons, as Chuck Daly told you at halftime, double-teaming him and playing him differently than they have so far in this series. And Rodman, Sally, and Grant, nothing happening as the officials, Jake O'Donnell, making sure nothing does develop.
Well, the happy man here, Sally's laughing. They just shook hands. Watch Sally drop his head when he gets this. Now, beautiful pass by him. Watch how hard he goes to the basket. There's the hit. So naturally, Sally is going to say something because that was a hard hit. But it's Grant's job to go with a hard foul and not allow him to have a dunk. Make him make these 2 foul shots.
Big game for Sally. He has 9 points and 7 rebounds. But he has struggled at the line where he is 5 for 9. Jordan comes back in for Chicago with the team trailing by 4. So Doug Collins says, I can't afford to rest him anymore. I don't want the Pistons to have a 6 or 7 point lead at the after 3. But I wonder how they're going to get the ball to him.
Well, Doug Collins is looking at 2 shots. He wants a quick shot and then Detroit to shoot so that he'll get another shot. That's what he's trying to get done here before the end of this quarter.
15 on the shot clock. There you're looking at the game clock in the third, and Thomas fouls Vincent, who will go to the line to shoot.
Foul line, Isiah Thomas. His second.
For Thomas, his second. The Pistons have stayed out of foul trouble today. No one on the team has as many as 3 personals.
See, Isiah Thomas just did a great defensive job. He made Sam Vincent pick up the dribble 40 feet away from the basket. Even if he did make a pass to Jordan on the baseline, it was going to be a long pass.
Lambeer struggling today. Hurt his hand before the game. Has scored only 2 points.
See, now Doug Collins got what he wanted. They got the 2-shot foul here. Plus they'll get it back again.
First points by the Chicago bench today. The 2 free throws by Sam Vincent. And the Pistons lead by 2. But you're right, the Bulls will get it back. Thomas baseline over Vincent.
There he is.
Rodman saves it to Johnson. Dennis Rodman nearly, well, he came close to going where Aguirre went yesterday and knocking Daly off. But Daly was smart. He ran down the bench. Playing for the last shot of the quarter. Triple team on Vinnie Johnson. It's Thomas with the shot and the hit with 2 seconds to play.
There's time here.
Vincent fires it up. So Isiah Thomas hits 2 big baskets at the half and after 3 quarters. And that is the end of the 3rd period with the score. The Pistons 64 and the Bulls 60, and we'll return to Chicago Stadium after this message and a word from your local stations. .9:32 remaining in the 4th quarter. Detroit getting a lot of points from the bench and from their backcourt. Thomas and Dumars in particular. Edwards fouled. And that is the first team foul against the Bulls in this 4th quarter, and Michael Jordan now has picked up his 4th foul.
Well, this second unit with Isiah Thomas has been, you know, outstandingly productive. They're working down off of pick and rolls, and then they're working down inside in the post-up game to James Edwards or Vinnie Johnson coming off baseline pitch. Excellent execution.
Also with 4 fouls for the Bulls is Pippen, Cartwright, and Hodges. Edwards makes the free throws. So the Chicago Bulls relying on their starters for the most part. The Bulls outnumbered, the way to put it, against the great Detroit bench today. Cartwright working inside, fouled, missed the hoop, will go to the line. Second team foul against Detroit and the 3rd foul against James Edwards. But the Bulls have scored only 1 basket in more than 9 minutes.
Well, they've been able to keep them perimeter, Dick. And anytime that Michael is making his moves, they're trapping early, forcing him to give it up. But the spacing of the Chicago Bulls, when 2 players are being guarded by 1, they are too close together, and they just cannot find that guy who is open.
Cartwright, who had 8 points in the game, has not scored in the second half and has only 1 rebound. The Bulls wanted to go inside, and they did to him early for a couple of hoops. He makes 1 out of 2. So the Pistons, who had their biggest lead moments ago with 7, now have a 6-point margin with 3 minutes gone by in the 4th quarter. Edwards playing a big game off the bench with 11 now. James Edwards. And it's an 8-point Detroit lead, and Michael Jordan has not been a factor for the Chicago Bulls offensively in this game. He scored 12 in the 1st quarter, only 3 since. Pippen misses a 3, Thomas the rebound, and you can feel this game moving more and more into the control of the Pistons.
Pistons have an awful lot of confidence in James Edwards. They go to him on either the right side or Vinnie Johnson to the left.
Thomas misses a 3. Rodman, loose ball foul. 2 fouls against Rodman.
Team's 3rd.
And the 3rd team foul against Detroit. But how will the Chicago Bulls solve Detroit's defense, Hubie, and get Michael Jordan free, not only to score, but just to get shots?
Well, they're changing their offensive looks. They're sending him to different areas of the floor, trying to find the right 1 or 2 plays that will free him up.
Thomas steals the pass from Grant to Pippen.
This is where your other 4 guys have got to come to the forefront, Dick.
Crowd's out of this game totally with the way the Pistons are playing. They've done it. Vinnie Johnson. Tipped away. 2 seconds on the shot clock. He gets it off in time. And here's Hodges. Thomas is staying with Jordan on this matchup situation. Feed to Grant. Fouled by Vinnie Johnson. And the 4th team foul against Detroit. And as Hubie, we look at the time with 7:33 remaining in the fourth quarter. This is about where the Pistons seemingly were in control over the Bulls in game number 3. They have an 8-point lead there. They were up by 10, and then Chicago went to work.
Are we looking for that kind of dramatic TV again?
Well, no, but this is what...
There it is. That's what started it yesterday.
Pippen three-point basket. 13 points for Hodges. He's hit 3 of them, 3 three-pointers. And the lead is 5. I was just trying to go back to the other game.
But yesterday it was their defense.
Vinny Johnson comes back with 2. Double team on Jordan. Now Rodman picks him up. Hodges. This is a 3, and Vinny Johnson out of the pack. Rodman from Vinny Johnson scores, and now the Pistons a lot sharper offensively than they were on Saturday.
Timeout.
And a timeout called by Chicago with a 9-point lead for Detroit, their biggest of the game and the biggest for either side.
Now keep an eye on Dennis Rodman guarding Michael Jordan. This is the personality of the defense that we are seeing today. This is what is being allowed, and now it's up to you to change your game and make the adjustments to the way that the game is going to be called. The players must adjust, the coaching staffs adjust, and then you play within that type of a personality.
The Bulls scored only 13 points in the second quarter, 21 in the third, so far 7 here in the fourth quarter. Dennis Rodman having a whale of a game off the glass. Has been a tremendous spark today. A little more than halfway to go in this one. Jordan. This is the jumper, the rebound by Thomas. Pushing it up. Nine-point lead for the Pistons, trying to get it over that 10 mark.
They watch his high pick and roll.
With Edwards. Here's Edwards over Pippen. Cartwright the rebound. Outlet to Scotty. What I like about Jordan, he's not forcing it, even though he's not had a lot of shots or points in this game. 8 on the shot clock. Grant throws it away into the hands of Vinny Johnson. So Grant's been a little careless with his passes inside today.
Well, what you're getting there, you had a major mismatch. Vinny Johnson was playing behind Cartwright.
But the bad pass at the bad time gives Detroit another opportunity, and John Sally nearly took advantage of it. We'll call Sally for the foul, and the Pistons are in the penalty right now, and Michael Jordan will go to the line. Here is the Chicago scoring breakdown. They had a bunch early, but since then it's been drought city. Only 44 points in the last 35 minutes. Jordan has gone to the line 9 times. He has 16 points in the game and only 4 since the first quarter.
When teams take you out of your primary sets that have been good for you, then what you must do is explore other facets of your play call, or take the plays to options 3, 4, and 5. You might have to go that far, but what happens then is that the other people must step to the forefront and get it done for you.
The lead is 7. Edwards. Thomas Johnson, that is, fouled. And I'll tell you, the whole story of this game is Detroit's offensive rebounding. The more you see it, their defense is always good, but if it's not Rodman or Sally or Johnson, it's somebody. And the foul on Pippen is his 5th. One more and Scotty's out of the game, and so far Doug Collins has not made a move.
No, they have to stay with their prime guys right now. Vinny Johnson always tough on the offensive boards. But you know that you have to admire the confidence that Chuck Daly and the Pistons have by consistently running things and then going right to James Edwards. And you know, he hasn't been that big a factor point-wise in the series yet, but they know he can do it.
1 out of 2 for Vinnie Johnson. Only 5 today.
Plenty of time, 5 minutes.
It's an eternity in the NBA, 5 minutes. The lead is 8. Hodges. Loose ball. Vinnie Johnson has it with under 5 minutes to go. 77-69. The Detroit Pistons are showing the style that got them those 63 wins this year. Best record in the league. Off the curl, Vinnie Johnson. Thomas. And Isiah Thomas has come back big with 24 points today.
All you heard from the Pistons yesterday and today is, listen, we can adjust our game. We are a very talented team. Sure, we're a little intimidating offensively, but we will adjust by the way this game is going to be called.
The lead is 10 for the Pistons. Biggest of the game. They did not lead at all until the final second of the first half when Isiah Thomas hit a 3-point basket. Then Detroit in the third quarter moved up to a 5-point lead, and then Chicago seemed to get it going. They wrested the lead away. They led by 5 themselves, but since then it has been all the blue and red.
See, when Detroit double teams Michael Jordan and he makes that pass, they are rotating out so quick on that first pass guy, but then the hustle is coming from the trap man who's rotating to get the second free player.
We've been giving these numbers a lot today. The Bulls only 2 baskets in the last 14 minutes. Jordan puts it through. He didn't care who was coming out.
He brought that one from Hip City. Ho ho!
79-71. Wow. It woke him up. That's for sure.
They got to get it done defensively, though, Vic.
Johnson with a spin move inside, and Vinnie Johnson, who has scored all 7 of his points here in the fourth quarter. Michael Jordan, open man, Pippen for 3. Out of bounds, still Chicago ball.
Keep an eye on Michael. Now Rodman really playing him tough. There's your back pick. He sacrifices. Now watch where he brings this dunk from. Here he comes. Boom.
With Edwards in his face. 3:46 remaining in the fourth quarter. It is a 10-point Detroit lead. The other day, Chicago just snuffed out the Pistons defensively in the last 6 minutes. But it looks like the Pistons are matching the Bulls basket for basket down the stretch here.
See, yesterday they were kind of slow in their offense. Today they're very crisp.
Jordan. Foul. Pistons have been over the limit for a while. The Bulls have committed only 2 team fouls.
Watch how Vinnie Johnson beats his man to the base. And keep an eye on his left hand. He brings it back. There's a possible block. He avoided that block by shifting it to the left hand.
Edwards with 4 fouls, and Michael Jordan with 19 points has 2 shots. He had a playoff high of 50 against the New York Knicks in that series. You get the feeling Jordan may be tired today?
No, I think what's happening today with Jordan is that every time that he's making a move, they are putting 2 bodies on him. He is really getting pounded. Now, I don't ever say this guy is tired anymore. You know, times when you think he should be tired, he just elevates to a new level, and you don't know. There's still 3 minutes and 40 seconds left there for him to disprove that.
And no one can say he can't do it, right? The lead is 9.
Not by these playoffs.
Vinnie Johnson. Pippen on the rebound. Here's Jordan. Let's see if he can make it happen again. Rodman committing the foul, and that'll send Jordan to the line again. And more important, it keeps stopping the clock for the Bulls. When you're behind in the final minutes of a game, there's nothing more you want than to have that clock stop.
See, that time was a perfect indication. He made a great move by beating Rodman. But then, lo and behold, Sally was there and also Isiah Thomas. So if he elevated that time, he really would have been hit hard.
Jordan is 9 of 13 from the line today. .320 to go, and both teams have plenty of timeouts remaining. Dumars is in for Vinnie Johnson. who came in with 7 big points and a big offensive rebound here in this fourth quarter.
He was very active at both ends of the floor, made 2 key steals at the defensive end.
There's the story. Jordan has scored the last 7 Chicago points.
This is where the Bulls defense must come to life.
Coming off the screen, now Thomas. Jordan closing in. 7 on the shot clock. Isiah, foul, hit on the hand. Only the 3rd team foul by the Bulls, but Thomas will shoot 2, and Jordan has picked up his 5th foul. 5 on Michael Jordan. 1 more, and he's history.
Well, Michael caught him right off the hip area as Isiah elevated for that shot. You could see Chuck Daly in that little shot of him a few seconds ago, you know, tremendously pleased. Yesterday, he didn't get this type of execution. He had a lot of forced shots.
So Thomas, the kind of game he's having, 8 rebounds for Isiah Thomas, 6 assists to go along with 24 points right now. Make it 25. He missed the shot and it's Chicago ball. 25 for Isiah Thomas. So with just under 3 minutes to go in the 4th period, it's Detroit by 8. There's the story. Pistons already in the penalty. Chicago 1 foul to give and 3 timeouts for each. 8-point lead Detroit. Chicago offense. Dumars is now shadowing Jordan. Before the game, Chuck Daly said in the last 6 minutes, we're not going to let Jordan do it. Gives it up to Hodges. Pippen. And Grant with the offensive rebound in the basket, but the Pistons didn't let Jordan do it on that sequence.
He had to work very hard there. 2 guys on him, made him work just to catch the ball.
6-point lead, but you're right, the Bulls, if they're going to challenge down the stretch, have to do it at this end. Thomas. Gets the own rebound and a new clock. And will be under 2 minutes the next time the Pistons are forced to take a shot.
Give Detroit credit, man. They're really hustling.
2 minutes left in this ball.
There's the shot clock on the left and the game clock on the right.
They're looking for Edwards low, but the clock is down.
1 second. They don't get it off. 24-second clock expires. 1:47 to go. Chuck is a little perturbed over that. Chuck Daly. So it's a 6-point game, and keep in mind, whenever you have a number like 6, it's 2 possessions when you consider the 3-point basket. That doesn't mean we'll go for that here.
No, that's right. Both teams are in good shape, timeout-wise.
Dumars on Jordan. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Michael goes up. Rebound. Grant knocked away by Thomas. Goody. Big play by Isiah Thomas. He might have saved 2 right there.
Oh, he sure did. Grant could only use 1 hand because he was tied up.
And a timeout called by Detroit. Big play by Isiah Thomas. 1:22 remaining. And a 6-point Detroit lead. This guy's always smiles. Dennis Rodman. He has good reason to today.
Watch Isiah here. You see Grant could only use 1 hand. He had 1 hand caught inside of Isiah Thomas. Isiah, excellent quickness.
The Pistons have 2 timeouts remaining and the Bulls have 3. Game number 5 is Wednesday night at the Palace of Auburn Hills. And if we have game 6, we'll be right here on CBS Sports. Friday night, 9 o'clock Eastern, game 7 if necessary, a week from today in Detroit. Bill Laimbeer is back in the game. So the Pistons will have Laimbeer, Edwards, Dumars, Thomas, and Rodman. General manager Jack McCloskey played a big role in putting this team together. It's gotten better every year and looking for the world title this year. But boy, those Lakers loom large, don't they?
Watch this high pick and roll now to see if they trap Dumars again.
Dumars guarded by Hodges. Thomas with 3 seconds to go. Turnaround. Cartwright the rebound. Now the Bulls can cut it to 4 or less with a minute to go. Inside.
Big block.
Blocked inside. Was it Edwards? Lambeer. Lambeer made the block. Big block. So the Pistons with Lambeer on the block and Thomas before on the defensive play. That took a lot of wind out of the Bulls' sails. Dumars going baseline. Edwards. Missed and Hodges. Timeout called by Chicago, and they'll have 2 left.
Watch this move now as Grant fades. Here comes Lambeer for the clean block to take that out of there.
32 seconds left, and the Bulls need 2 3-pointers at this point. Here's our story in the 4th quarter of Game 4 with 32 seconds left here at Chicago Stadium, where the fans may be a little bit down right now because the Pistons are 32 seconds away from evening up this best-of-7 Eastern Conference final at 2 games apiece. And by winning, if the Pistons hold on and win, they would regain the home court advantage with 2 of the remaining 3 games, if necessary, at the Pistons Palace. But a lot can happen in 32 seconds, and there's the guy, Isiah Thomas, who made it happen today for the Detroit Pistons. John Paxson is checked in, so it'll be Jordan, Paxson, Hodges, Grant, and Pippen.
They have 4 3-point shooters in the game now. They'll use Grant as the rebounder.
Right now, Chicago 76 is the second lowest playoff-wise in postseason. They go to Jordan, pushing foul. So no seconds went off the clock, and Jordan will have a chance to knock 2 off of that and make it 4. That's the worst thing the Pistons wanted to see happen.
Absolutely.
Dumars' foul is 3rd, and Chuck Daly is yelling, and Brendan Surr on the left and Brendan Malone on the right are listening. Doug Collins wondering whether there's another miracle in the making. 23 now for Michael Jordan. Paxson goes out, and they bring Cartwright in.
Well, they're going defense right here, so that Cartwright can match up with James Edwards in the pivot area and Grant with Lambeer. So whichever way they go, they're covered.
Short. Edwards the rebound. So it's a 5-point lead for Detroit. 28 seconds to go, and if they don't steal, they'll have to foul in a hurry. And they foul Dumars. Grant. Jordan is playing with 5 fouls, and Grant commits it. That is the 4th team foul. It is not a shooting foul. The next one will be one. And a timeout called by the Pistons will leave them with only 1 left in the game. 24 seconds remain. Detroit with 1 timeout, the Bulls with 2. And so the next foul will send the Pistons to the line by Chicago. Vinnie Johnson is back in, and John Paxson for Chicago. Thomas will inbound. 5-point lead for the Pistons. And right now, the 77 points by the Bulls are the playoff low of this postseason. Thomas gets it into Edwards. He's played a big role with 11, and the foul will send Edwards to the line with 22 seconds, and Scottie Pippen is fouled out of the game. That's his 6th foul. 18 points and 11 rebounds, and Scottie Pippen played a good game today for the Chicago Bulls.
Well, I know Doug Collins is happy because he sees that he has the spring in the foot, and also he could shoot the perimeter shot. Scottie felt that in Game 3. He was still in a lot of pain on the elevation.
Bill Cartwright will check in.
See, when you're coaching in Chuck Daly's situation here, what you're trying to do with your players, every time you catch the ball, get rid of it before they can foul you so they can run seconds off the clock. If you do not, you're putting the pressure on yourself to walk up to the foul line and knock in 2 foul shots.
Edwards is now 6 of 9 from the free throw line, and this has been a huge game for the Detroit bench. They've outscored the Chicago Bulls 36-2. And a timeout called by the Bulls. They are left with 1 timeout and a 7-point Detroit lead. What did someone say? It's going to take a miracle, and it will. And our Miller Lite player of the game today is Isiah Thomas. What kind of barometer Izzy for the Pistons, he has averaged 7 points in their 2 losses, 29 points in victory. So that's the story with Isiah Thomas, and Light Beer is proud to present a check for $1,000 on behalf of Isiah Thomas to the National Multiple Sclerosis Society. Paxson gets free, goes for 3, and this will do it for the Chicago Bulls. The Pistons will even it up at 2 apiece. Thomas is fouled with 12 seconds to go. But the story of this game, the Detroit bench, their offensive rebounding, and their defense. Michael Jordan managed only 2 baskets in the last 3 periods of this game, and that's all you need to know about game number 4.
The inspiration given by that second unit. There's Michael, a very tough day today. Doug Collins and his staff have got to really work on how they are going to free him up so that he will get the shots, but more important, that when he does get double and triple teamed in the lane area, that when he outlets the pass, that there is better spacing so they get open shots, clearer shots than they had today.
He had support because Grant scored 12, Hodges 13, and Pippen 18. Hodges hits a 3-point basket, but there's not that much time left unless Detroit just falls asleep at the free throw line. 86-80, and that'll do it. And the Pistons have still not given up 100 in any playoff game. And that's it. We're all even at 2 apiece. So for Hubie Brown and Pat O'Brien, this is Dick Stockton saying so long from Chicago Stadium. The final score, Detroit 86 and Chicago 80.